Moshville Radio. From indie to metal, it rocks.
And welcome to the UK Thrashers radio show. For the first time ever, a real radio show rather than a podcast, thanks to the guys at Moshville. My name's Branny, I'm going to be your host for the next 2 hours. We've got tons of great music, mainly thrash from the underground of the UK, but some international treats in there and some bigger bands. We've also got an interview with Cryptic Shift. Hold on tight, it's time to thrash. That was Temper Shot and their new track Afterburner. These guys played their first gig in the London Underworld last weekend, opening for another band that is infamous, or is that famous in the UK scene? Yeah, this is Acid Rain and The New Low.
Moshville Radio. From indie to metal, it rocks!
Next up, a band who were under the original moniker of Purgatory back in Bristol in the late 80s, with members of Four Way Kill and Mercury Rain. This is Trapped in Purgatory and Hung Out to Die.
Jones from Sidewinder. You're listening to the UK Thrashers Radio Show.
Sidewinder BC, Blackened crossover from the heart of Yorkshire. Okay, next up, another band that have been taking the underground by storm. This is a Devastator and Merciless Onslaught.
This is
Okay, this week in the virtual studio, we are joined by Ryan from Cryptic Shift and Slime Lord. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Yeah, nice to be back.
So it's been a little bit over a year since the last time you guys were on the show. A lot of kind of water under the bridge. Obviously, we've been through a bit of a pandemic, but you've also been signed by Metal Blade. So that's a brilliant kind of bit of news for you, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like real cool to come out of like lockdown and stuff with that new signing like underway and stuff. It's kind of cool. Gives us like a bit of direction to like keep focused on and work towards, you know.
So how did that come about? Obviously, the album had been really well received, and you were kind of, your names were popping up everywhere. Was that you approaching them, or did they come and find you out?
Well, I guess like you said, the album had done the rounds a lot. They did a great job. I don't know. I guess last time we spoke, it was kind of in the early days of the album coming out, but since then, it's been posted around everywhere. Obviously, selling really well, like worldwide and stuff. So it's awesome to have like new fans that have definitely found us through this album release. I think it was around January time. I just like opened the band emails, and it was like there was just a email sitting there from one of the European reps at Metal Blade, and it was kind of like, this has got to be fake. So
you think
we did some digging. I was actually like walking my dogs in the snow, and I was there like, you know, like shaking because my hands are freezing cold, like just making sure this was legitimate. And then I was like, holy shit. So like rang around all the fellas. I remember John was asleep because he was working like night shifts at the time. And I was like, John, wake up now. And he's like, what's up? And I was like, got this email from Metal Blade and it's legit and they want to sign us and stuff. So like, yeah, they got in touch. They just said that the record was really good. They were big fans of the style and the sound. So that was awesome. And they just wanted to know if we'd be interested in signing with them. So of course we got back in touch and got talking a little more, got the offer through. And then I think it was like March time, we'd like finalized on a deal and signed everything up. And yeah, it got announced. I think it was only a few months ago when it got announced. It was July. So we were sitting on that for quite a few months, which was really exciting. Like everyone keeping quiet about it and stuff like that. And yeah, it was awesome.
Who were you worried about? Who was likely to break cover? You fucking was one of the band who had to get reminded. Don't fucking say anything.
You know, myself for the most part.
I was going to say, you're the worst for talking, aren't you?
Yeah, I think everyone, info got around to like, you know, close friends and stuff like that. It was kind of one of those where it was really hard to keep quiet about, but no, it was awesome. The appreciation from the fans from the announcement was great. I obviously expected it to be good because it is big news. I can't remember the last time a band on our level got picked up by such a, you know, prestigious record label and stuff. So
yeah, and it is that, isn't it? It's a proper legit label from that point of view. And that's no disrespect to a lot of the smaller labels that are really hustling hard to get bands out there. But Metal Blade's one of those. It's a different level, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, when the offer came through, it was one of those like we were laughing about how it was regardless of what we kind of thought. It was one of those like offers we couldn't necessarily refuse, you know.
Yeah. So whatever they offered you, they overpaid. They could have offered you a bag of cheese and onion crisps each, and you would have been happy. It's kind of like,
likely, but no, it was one of those where, there was like a little bit, because obviously, like before the album came out, we were just like a UK band, traveling around the UK doing this thing. And then the album had come out and we weren't playing any shows or anything. So there was like a lot to kind of weigh up, like, like even not necessarily doubt, but, like, are we ready to do this? Because obviously like it is a big responsibility and hopefully it's something that is going to like have a long-term duration.
Yeah.
So we were like,
And do you think that's kind of for you? Like, you said that big responsibility. You think that's kind of for yourselves, but also do you kind of see yourselves maybe, keeping a little foot in the door for the rest of the UK scene as well? Is that, when people are looking at you, hopefully people will, who look a bit wider as well?
See, that's the thing as well. And I think that's why the appreciation from the fans was really good, because so a lot of bands do get, smaller bands you see get picked up by these labels, but the UK bands, like I said, other than like, Evil and stuff like that, who've been on big enough labels for the past like decade or so, I don't really know many bands in at least the thrash and like death metal scene that have like worked with a label of this size. So I think a lot of people appreciated the fact that a UK band got picked up, and that's a big thing for me as well. And like the other guys in Cryptic, we're all like humble guys, and we like to still be a part of the scene. And, we got friends all over the place in small bands and bands that were in the same position we were in before the album came out and stuff. So hopefully, like you said, I'd like to think that it definitely does shine a spotlight back to the rest of the UK scene. Hopefully, there is stuff going on here, as you know, and I'm sure the listeners know. But as regards to the rest of the world, I think it's good for the scene over here for a UK band to get picked up.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone. Like, we just released the album and it did really good. So we
a bit of right time, right place. But also, and I guess some of these things are luck, aren't they? Not that you don't deserve it or anything like that, but it is a little bit about, someone's looking for something as you've got something available, and it lands on the right desk or in right Spotify stream or whatever, and people just notice it.
Yeah, like one thing we always ponder on. I mean, obviously, it's worked in our favor, and obviously no one knows how it could have gone, but like with the record coming out and the reception to the Visitations album, that obviously happened during the lockdown worldwide. So maybe a lot more people had time on their hands to check out new music because they weren't, they were working from home with the headphones on and stuff. And after a while, listening to the same records, because that's what I'm always kind of like, I always kind of stick to the same kind of stuff. Not particularly searching for new stuff all the time, but I found myself like over lockdown listening to a lot of new stuff and finding new bands and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
and on the fringe of what you'd normally listen to as well, you kind of you listen to a kind of core of bands, but then as you say, you end up someone's mentioned these, and you kind of pick up on the peripherals, and then it goes off down lots of different avenues, doesn't it? I was talking to Jonesy from Sidewinder, and he was sending all these hardcore bands for me to listen to as well, which I'd never really I'd never really done the hardcore thing, but there's tons of great bands out there that ended up with people like Borstal and that I probably would have passed by in some ways,
absolutely,
because I thought hardcore was all like tattooed heads and
right.
Karate in the Pit, but actually there's more Slayer riffs than Slayer in most of it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, like you said, I think I don't know what it was regarding it being at the right time, and it was certainly in the right place at the right time for us. I'd like to think, and I can't ponder on what factors went into that, whether it was because we released it in the lockdown or if it would have been the same circumstance if we released it with things being as they were,
Yeah, you just got to grab it by the balls and now run with it.
Yeah, right.
So what happens? Are you on kind of like is it a one record deal? Is that have you got to deliver a record to them by a certain date, or how does it kind of work for, because obviously most of the bands I talk to have gone the other way. You created an album and then you go and shop it to the labels. I guess you're now coming at this from the different point of view, is that the labels signed you and they expect a bit of output.
Right. As far as the deal goes, it's a multi-album deal. I can't really express too much on the...
No, sure.
But yeah, we don't necessarily have a deadline. We did speak about this because a lot goes into our songwriting, specifically for Xander, because the music is kind of tied in with the concept story. So there's like two big elements that need to come together in order for the
record. He's writing a novel to let you guys write the music around, isn't he?
Pretty much, and he does a lot of the writing himself as well.
Yeah.
At least like the guitar parts and the structure stuff. Just because like he's obviously got the ideas of where the story's going in his head. Yeah. So he kind of like directs the songwriting. But we've spoken about Blade about it because that's one thing we were kind of worried about, that we might have to like rush out a new album and stuff. Yeah. But they said like obviously it's not in anyone's best interest for us to take like 5 years to get this album out and stuff.
So you're not going Guns N' Roses on us and taking like 15 years to do a Use Illusion 3.
But then at the same time, I think because obviously the pandemic and the lockdowns, thankfully for us, we've been in a position where we have a practice room and everyone lives within, like John and Joss live like over the road from where we practice, and we've been able to practice quite frequently. But as far as writing goes, we've kind of touched the surface a little bit on the new material, but we're waiting until we've got the tour coming up out of the way. And then we're going to spend the rest of the year focusing on new material and bleeding into the new year. Like a couple of months into that, we're going to be spending some time writing. So I'd like to think like this time next year, in an ideal world, the record should at least be in the recording stages. So I'm hoping for like a late 2022, early 2023 kind of release, which would be great.
Cool. Yeah, and I guess it's also, because of the pandemic, a lot of bands have delayed releases or, as you say, slip tours and things like that. And there's a potential that there could be so much new stuff coming out over the next 12 months that you could, there's a risk of there being too much new music at a time, and it could, Absolutely. So a little bit behind that drag curve. Hopefully, we'll see you in a really nice place with, people ripe for some more tunes.
Moshville Radio, from indie to metal, it rocks.
More from Cryptic Shift in a bit. In the meantime, here's a band from Oldham. They took Bloodstock by storm. This is Tortured Demon and Cold Blood. radio show. Get in the pit! Another band that tore it up at Bloodstock, with frontman Adam pulling double duties as guitar player for Evil. This is Riptide and Inhuman Race. Another band who picked themselves up a load of new fans at Bloodstock. This is Elimination, taken from their new album, Echoes of the Abyss. This is Victims by Design.
By the greed of the worst of humanity.
Put on your high tops, grab your barrel jacket and start a pit. This is Shrapnel and The Mace.
Smashing limbs with a horror embrace. Your mortal brain uncontained.
Okay, let's rejoin Ryan as we carry on talking about all things Cryptic Shift.
Absolutely. Another thing as well is that because the record's coming out on Metal Blade, and this goes back to like the kind of responsibility aspect of what we were talking about when it came to actually signing the deal. There is like a kind of like, we're kind of like the album, the new album has to be like the best it can be. Not that like we would release something that we weren't 100% happy with, but because we're on a big label now, and not that like things are a competition, but we are kind of like competing with a lot of really good, like high quality music production wise, songwriting wise. Not that we'd necessarily change our style, because our style's what it is. Yeah, as you know, there's a lot of different influences in there. And stuff.
I think you guys compete against yourselves a little bit as well, though, don't you? You know, you always want to, you know, even from the earlier stuff to the album, you know, you wanted to improve all the time, and you kept wanting to, you know, enhance that story playing and enhance the themes behind it. So I think, you know, I think you're quite a good, you're kind of, you self-fulfill your own prophecy in that way as a band, that you keep, you know, you seem to all have that desire to make it even better than the last thing you did.
Absolutely. And like with signing with any new label or approaching any new release, it can go two ways. We can either, you know, put something together and then roll with it and not necessarily rush it. But on our case, we've kind of made the decision to, I guess, step back a little bit and make sure we're observing what's going on and taking us time to really be, you know, confident and happy with what we're going to release for the next album. But yeah, from the sounds of stuff we've already jammed is going to be really good. The fans of the Visitations from Enceladus are going to like it a lot, because a lot of the style is taken from that and then kind of like enhanced and refined a little bit, and there is a couple of new influences in there, so it's going to be really sweet.
Cool. So you mentioned then about kind of cementing what you're doing and the tour coming up. Obviously, you got a pretty good run start of September between the 4th to the 12th.
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of where you going roughly? Kind of you're all over the country, I think, aren't you?
We're not going as far as anywhere real south of London, which is a shame because we would have loved to. But we're just starting in Manchester, heading down to York, going over to Wales, play Cardiff, coming back. So we're going to play Derbyshire, play Newcastle, Edinburgh, going up to Scotland, which would be great. And then Leeds, London and Nottingham for the last 3 shows. So that should be pretty cool.
And you're also, and you're also, you're doing the album in full, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
From the flyer. Yeah,
that's right. We're going to be performing Visitations in full, which is sweet. It's kind of like, not that it's a big production show to pull off, but it's certainly the biggest and most focused performances we're going to be playing to date. So
yeah, and of course, as we spoke about last time, there's a couple of big songs on there, as in lengthwise.
Oh,
so
for sure. It's kind of...
And you've also picked up a slot at Damnation as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. That was announced a couple of days ago, so that's going to be awesome. It's nice that the lineup, from the looks of things, is completely UK bands. It's probably the first time in a while that a festival of that size has had a full UK lineup. So that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to like catching up with the guys in Gamma Bomb and Evil and stuff.
Yeah, I was looking when the announcement came out the other day. I think I'm probably one of the few, but I think the lineup's even better than it was before. I was quite happy to see some of the bands that I wasn't really that bothered about disappear, and it, as you say, becomes a bit of a UK fest, which is going to be really cool.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be awesome as well to like play in front of that many people in Leeds, our hometown.
Yeah, of course, it's a hometown gig for you, isn't it?
Yeah, we used to play into like 100 people max, but I know the stage we're on is like, I think it's like 1,000 capacity, and the festival's sold out. So I'd imagine a lot of people are going to come and check us out and stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool.
And it's one of those nice festivals that's kind of it's a good size, but it also always feels a bit intimate as well.
Yeah,
that's right. It's kind of it doesn't feel like you're at this massive kind of faceless corporate gig. It's it always feels like it feels like a small club show, but with quite a lot of mates there.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a great festival.
So who you got kind of? I know you've got a couple of dates with kind of the Hell-Fected and the Thrasher Wolf and Blacklist lads. What about who else is supporting your dates when you're out on the road?
As for thrash bands, bands I'm familiar with, like the Manchester show, I know Riptide are going to play that one, so that'll be awesome. Cool. Catch up with those guys. They're great guys, so it's always cool to see them and hang out and stuff.
There's way too much ginger in that band at the minute, though. Let him very joined. It's just, but him and Xander just fucking cross. It's just fucking. It's just ginger hair everywhere now. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
I saw your comment on the post, man. It made me laugh.
Cool. I'm sure I'll get shit for that when I see him.
Do you know the band Pariah from York?
Yes. Yeah.
They're playing the Leeds date. Like you mentioned, we're playing York and Derby with Hell-Fected and who else is in there? It's Blacklist and Thrasher Wolf.
Yeah, I think Thrasher Wolf are playing both of them, but Blacklist are only playing one of the two, aren't they?
I think they're just playing.
I think the earlier one is just the other two. Yeah.
So I'm looking. I've never seen those guys live. But I've checked them all out and they're all pretty cool. And then London. We've got a few support bands on there, but the one I'm looking forward to seeing the most is Sorterside. I'm good friends with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris Cleo's guys.
Right, yeah. They played live for like the first time a couple of weeks ago, and the footage looked great. I absolutely loved their the energy on the EP they released.
The 11th Plague.
That's right, yeah. That's really good. That really hit a spot for me.
Yeah, it was, and it was right. Like I think it came out the day we all went into lockdown as well. So those guys got, they are your. I don't think they've, until recently, I don't think they'd even played a live gig. Chris is one of my reviewers, so he kind of jokes about it all the time. That they've become this band in the UK that lots of they're really fortunate. Lots of people have heard them, but they've never played a live show.
Right. So hopefully they're as good as they are.
Yeah. Touch fucking wood that nothing fucking stupid happens between now and then.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, but that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Probably the most out of all the bands on the floor, which is great. There's a lot of awesome bands on there.
Yeah, lots of them. So are you guys kind of you a little bit kind of. You quite fairly comfortable with going out? Are you kind of, I guess you'd be laterally flow testing up the yin yang and all that sort of stuff? Because obviously this, we're in the first wave of, post Bloodstock now. People are starting to get back out on the road again. Are you guys kind of quietly confident that it's all under control?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that people are going to respect, the situation right now, and we're just going to, keep to ourselves and make sure. Well, we're doing what we can to stay safe on the road. I couldn't imagine how it'd feel to get ill on the road and have to cancel all the dates coming, because there's 9 shows. So that's like the longest run we've done ever. So that's going to be awesome. As for performing, I'm not, we practice all the time. So the set's cool and stuff, but obviously there's a different energy when playing live. So I don't know if there's going to be somewhat of like an overstimulation. It feels great playing live and stuff. So it should be good.
Keep your, especially for you, all it takes is a little bit of fucking excitement, and you get a bit faster, and everyone starts everyone else gives you shit for the rest of the night. Fucking hell, Ryan, how fast were you paying that?
It'd be like that footage of like Sepultura playing like a Rise in like 94, and like they're just playing it so fast. But it's cool.
How did you turn that 35-minute song into a 15-minute? Just fucking step on the fucking gas.
Too much Red Bull before the show.
That's it. Yeah, that's the fucking that'll be the stay off that, mate. No coffee or Red Bull for you. Just keep fucking keep it down.
Cool. It should be awesome.
Yeah, no, that's good. It looks like it's going to be great fun. Are you going to try and you guys going to try and kind of get any of that, getting some footage and stuff? You got any? You got some friendly roadies that are going to try and gonna grab you some GoPro footage or something to pimp out there?
I'm sure there might be a couple of bits here and there popping up, but I think we're gonna like leave it to the fans for the most part. So if you come to a show, if you hear this and you come to a show, feel free to pull your phone out. We're not gonna turn around and be one of those bands that's like, oh, can everyone take the phones out, please? Like,
no, fuck that. Be rock star. Kick it out the hands.
Yeah. No flash photography.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like doing that anyway. Like after we've played a couple of shows and coming back and jumping on YouTube and having a look and seeing if anything's appeared. But should be cool.
Just little snippets as well. 15 seconds and put your phone away. Don't be a dick in the first.
Yeah, just one Instagram story per person, please.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We can. Yeah. But then again, everyone's got loads of distance. It's always the fucking person. Like I'm 6'2", and it's always some like 5'2" girl that stands in front of me with a phone in there. All I do is watch gigs through people's phones. It's like fuck off. So obviously you're gonna run through the full album. Is that it? The full set is the full album. There'll be nothing else teased in from.
Yeah, pretty much. New material's not anywhere near ready to be played live. As for older material, we've got something in works for a little special show towards the end of the year, playing that stuff. But
okay.
Yeah, the focus of this tour is just
getting that album out,
getting the album out there, and we've performed it live before it came out in its various forms, but now it's out, and the fans have had a lot of time to like check out and get familiar with the stuff. It's going to be awesome. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be seeing us for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be great.
And what about Damnation? Obviously, you'll have a different set time for Damnation than you've got for your own headlining tour. So will that mix things up a little bit more?
I think the plan for Damnation is just to go out and play Moonbelt. Like it's 25 minutes. So I think we're going to have we'll probably end up with a half an hour slot. I'm not entirely sure on the time right now, but we'll definitely be getting Moonbelt in the set.
Right.
I think that's kind of, it's cool because Moonbelt's got its own little, it's kind of like a record within itself to some extent. So it's kind of nice to kind of be if you see us at a support show or a show where we've only got a limited set time, we'll play that track. And if you want to see the rest of the album, then you're going to have to wait until we're playing a headline show. You can come see the full.
Because Moonbelt works like a little kind of prologue to the rest of the story in a way, doesn't it? Absolutely. It's got its own little tale in its own right before, that sits quite comfortably.
Another cool thing with Moonbelt, that, we consider for festivals and stuff, it's a diverse track. So there's a little bit for everyone, It's not like we're just going to play the free tracks, which are more predominantly fast and, kind of more the kind of thrash stuff. So it should be pretty cool.
No, exactly. And when you're only going to bang one track in, having a track so varied, it's a really good way of showing everything that you do.
Right. Yeah, exactly, man.
Moshville Radio. From indie to metal, it rocks.
The last bit of the interview with Ryan from Cryptic Shift coming up towards the end of the show. In the meantime, another band that supported Acid Rain in the Underworld last week. This is Bang Over and Fear Death Experience.
Stricken with pain and anguish, afflicted state, refuge in poison substance, toxic escape, imbibe and cease to suffer, inebriate, shut down of cogent vision, surrendered fate. The flesh slowly decays, the mind driven insane, withdrawn from sentience. Be a death experience. Be a death experience. Be a death Submit to swift cirrhosis. Drink now until the flesh slowly decays. The mind driven insane. Withdrawn from sentience. Be a death experience. Be a death experience. Be a death experience. Be a death experience. Yeah.
This is Tyler from Blacklist, and you are listening to the UK Thrashers radio show.
Yeah, the triple thrash threat of the trifecta is coming. The next 3 tracks are without any gaps, any talking, any bullshit. This is Hellfected, Blacklist, and Thrasher Wolf.
Moshville Radio. From indie to metal. It rocks.
It's time for destruction. This is Daniel from Thrasher Wolf, and you are listening to the UK Thrashers radio show.
Okay, let's get back to Ryan and our last bit of our Cryptic Shift interview.
A little bit of a diversion. Your other band, obviously, most people know you're also kind of drummer for Slime Lord. What's happening in the Slime Lord camp? I saw you released a cover version the other day.
Yeah, we released over lockdown. We recorded. There's like a Swedish death metal compilation, so we did a cover of Carnage Torn Apart, and that was real cool. It just came out on like tape and stuff. So that was nice to have something working on. With Slime Lord at the minute, we've got an EP coming out. I believe it's getting premiered on Decibel on August 24th. So that might be after this comes out or whatever. But yeah, check that out. It's called Moss Contamination. It's coming out on Dry Cough in the UK, Cedar Doom in Europe, and Sewer Rot in the US. That's just the second EP. We actually recorded that in July last year, but due to delays with pressing plants, the whole situation with getting physical stuff printed at the minute is insane.
It's horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah, like the EP is coming out on CD and tape. I think it's going to be tape and CD first, and then I think it's definitely coming out on vinyl, but due to
about 6 years afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, literally, like I think it's coming out in January. So, like, you know, it should be all good. But we're just working on the first like full length at the minute and trying to get that written, which is cool.
If people haven't heard of kind of the Slime Lord stuff, what's the kind of? Do you want to describe the Slime Lord sound?
Sure. So the material that's currently out, the Delta Death Sirens EP and the Moss Contamination EP, is kind of like a mix between like Death and Doom. A lot lower tuning than the Cryptic stuff, a lot slower and heavier than the Cryptic stuff. But with the newer stuff we're working on, it's getting a little bit faster, and that's cool. We've kind of like always jammed everything. Nothing's ever like pre-written, or it's not like the Cryptic stuff where we've got like a somewhat of an idea of how it's going to sound in the end or anything like that. So we're kind of slowly developing its own sound, and I think that'll become more apparent when the full length comes out. But yeah, for fans of the slower incantation style, like death metal, and the kind of like slow, like doom stuff, definitely check out Slime Lord. We're actually playing.
I had a little listen earlier on again because I hadn't listened to it for a little while, and I like the first. I was trying to describe it, and I was like, it's kind of stoner death metal.
Yeah, pretty much.
It kind of sits there really because you know, there, as you say, there's some really dirty. The low end bass through that is really kind of, you know, Lee Dorian's Cathedral back in 1992 would have been proud of it, sort of thing.
For sure. But that's a real cool band. It's nice. Obviously, myself, John, and Xander from Cryptic are in Slime Lord as well. So it's kind of cool for us to, you know, experiment with his playing styles and work on like certain like chops that we wouldn't really touch on too much with the Cryptic stuff, and then it ends up somewhat finding its way into the you know, once it's like in the arsenal, it starts molding itself into the newer Cryptic stuff, which is great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you find yourself playing things in either band and you go, that's wrong fucking band for that? But yeah, we'll take it away with us.
No, it's all cool. It's all right. I guess the difference in like guitar tuning and style, it doesn't cross over too much, but then certain like techniques will get developed and stuff. Like I didn't really play. I know the Cryptic album's got like blast beats on it and stuff like that, but as a drummer, I never really approached blast beats too much until the Slime Lord stuff came about, and now I'm like getting better at that, and then I'm starting to put that into the new Cryptic stuff, and I'm like, this is great because I can actually play a blast beat comfortably now. So, no, it's always fun.
Yeah, and I guess as you say, if you've got two very different kind of styles of songwriting to it, it keeps it fresh, doesn't it? It means you can go,
absolutely,
as you say, go and dick about and come up with some fucking crazy ideas rather than be quite so regimented.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. It's cool to like have that between the two bands where there is a lot going on. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So what about yourself? Obviously, kind of, you still working in Boom?
Yeah, that's right. I'm still working here.
Oh, you'll work again.
What's that?
Are they paying? Are you on the clock? Are you? We'll make the interview last.
I mean, I'm here right now.
Last a bit longer.
Nah, it's cool. Everyone's just chipping in whatever time they can to keep the venue open. Thankfully, now we're in a bit of we're definitely in another world of a better position than we were last time we spoke with the lockdown and stuff. We managed to make it through the entire pandemic without any government funding. Everyone who supported the venue, awesome. Keep doing that, because please don't forget that now that the pandemic's somewhat becoming less of a threat to music venues, there is still an overall threat for venues. Venues closed all the time before this. So don't let this fool you into thinking that everything's going to be okay, because everyone needs to keep doing what they can to help the venues and stuff. But
yeah, no. I'm hoping that coming out the back of this, people realise, we've heard nothing for a year apart from people going, I've missed live music. Remember that when there's gigs on, and stop trying to blag free tickets and pay for a gig.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, now things are back. Awesome. I can get back into, I book the metal shows there and stuff. So it's kind of nice being able to book stuff. Obviously, it's kind of weird at the same time. What's that?
What you got coming up?
We got the Cryptic show and the Slime Lord playing. Slime Lord are playing the Friday after next. Cryptic the Friday after. You can't
just book yourself, mate.
No, I know, but that's the best place to start. But Acid Rain are going to play at the end of September, Sunday the 26th. That's going to be awesome. Riptide are going to be playing that show, and Sidewinder, Jonesy's band, are going to play.
Oh, Jonesy's coming up. Oh, brilliant.
So that's going to be awesome. It's going to be great.
I might have to book that.
Yeah, if you can make it, that'd be great, man. But yeah, that's going to be a sweet show. It's going to be good to see Acid Rain back up here. I guess Leeds is kind of their hometown.
It's close enough for H, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. So that'll be really exciting.
Is he only Yorkshireman in there really anymore, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. I think they're all based in London now. I think he's moved to London as well.
Yeah, H is in London, and Pete's a Londoner anyway. And I think Mark's a Geordie, isn't he?
Yeah, I think they're from all over the place now.
Yeah.
But that'll be a cool show. And then we don't really have too much coming up right now. A lot of the stuff's getting booked for next year, which a lot of stuff I can't announce, but it's kind of weird right now. I'm trying to fill the calendar as best as I can with bands that want to play shows or are ready to play shows, because obviously a lot of bands haven't practiced, so they're kind of on the fence about playing live and stuff.
Are you finding bands are looking for a couple of smaller venues for kind of comeback shows? Is that I don't want to go and play to 300 people on my first day back, so I'll come and do kind of Boom as a nice stepping stone into it. Is that or you're not seeing that so much? Are people just hiding and practicing back in their practicing rooms for a bit?
We're just kind of taking it as it comes. There's there's a lot of bands that were going to play here before the pandemic, and stuff's getting rearranged, and a lot of bands played because we had a lot of the only form of funding the venue got was to put out live streams. So we recorded a bunch of live streams in the main room. So there's a lot of bands who played on that we're inviting to come play and stuff. But, not that I want to complain because I'm playing, but Damnation's kind of put us on a halt at the minute, because obviously a lot of the bands are playing.
Into that.
There are a lot of the bands that I would have wanted to book are now on Damnation. So, so obviously, you don't want to book them for October or December because they're playing in November. So it's we're just kind of figuring out who's available and who can play what and what we can put together towards the end of the year. And then I believe, hopefully, if stuff with the pandemic becomes more of a success, the following year is going to be when European bands and American bands and, bigger UK bands are going to start being able to perform live again and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then talked about kind of European bands. What about the other way? Are you kind of does the opportunity to take Cryptic over to Europe start becoming a bit more of a reality?
We got something in the works for May next year, May 22. We're going to be going away through Europe with Bedsaw from the 7th till the 20th of May. So a nice little 2-week kind of trip. At the same time, it's kind of, I'd like to think it's going to go ahead. I'm feeling optimistic about it, but there's all sorts of factors to consider, every country has its own different rules on COVID. Obviously, May is around more than half a year away. So I'd like to think by then things will be better. But then there's even stuff like Brexit to consider.
I was just about to say that seems to be improving all the time as well. So hopefully that, I think we'd all got so tied in with what was happening with COVID that kind of Brexit was kind of swept under the carpet. And now it's, people are getting burnt because they realise they can't take a van across Europe without stopping, having more than 3 stops or some fucking random stuff.
Absolutely. I'm sure logistically all that will get worked out in due time.
You just need a few people to go on the road and find out how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get Bruce Dickinson kicking up a fuss about it, but Cryptic Shift are nowhere near the the size of Iron Maiden. So it's
you lot in your transit aren't going to be the same as 5 exclusive buses and a fleet of HGVs, are you?
I mean, it would be great, but no. Well,
not this year anyway.
In the band, so but that's cool. We got a lot lined up. There's interest now for us to play all over the world, which is great, and especially with Metal Blade and stuff. I know they're going to be interested at some point when the world's a little safer to start planning stuff that they're going to want to start helping us out with touring and stuff worldwide. So there's a lot to look forward to, but right now the focus is just getting this UK tour done and playing the music live finally and meeting all the new fans, and hopefully everything goes great, and then things hopefully can start continuing back to as they once were before the pandemic.
Perfect. On that note, mate, I will. I'll let you go back to pretend to work. Always good to chat to you. Good luck going forward. I'll hopefully see you on one date of the tour, but if not, I'll definitely see you at Damnation.
Awesome.
Look forward to Metal Blades, the new album dropping in my review inbox sometime next year.
Awesome, yeah, sweet, man. Thanks a lot for having me on the show.
Awesome, dude. No worries. Great to see you, mate.
Moshville Radio. From indie to metal, it rocks.
Okay, thanks to Ryan from Cryptic Shift for joining us in the studio. This is Cryptic Shift and Planetary Hypnosis.
is Kieran Scott from Ashen Crown, and you are listening to UK Thrashers Radio.
Ultimate Power Corrupts and All Out War. This next track is slightly self-indulgent and it goes out to my best friend Jen. This is Metallica and Enter Sandman. Okay, that just about wraps things up. Thank you for joining us for our first ever show on the Real Radio. Thank you to the Moshville guys for giving us the opportunity. Okay, if you want your music played on the show, drop us an email, ukthrashers@gmail.com, or send us a direct message on any of our social media streams at UK Thrashers. Okay, we're going to finish off with some thrash from Ontario, Canada. This is Corrosive, taken from their debut album Caustic Hordes. This is Burning Earth 2029. See you next time.
Moshville Radio. From indie to metal, it rocks.